All right, this is a video showing how to find all missing angles and sides in a regular right triangle. We're just thinking of basic right triangles right now, nothing fancy. So the first thing we're going to do is write SOHCAHTOA at the top. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I've got to find the missing sides and missing angles for this. So let's see here. Well, the easiest part, of course, is finding the missing angle. I can use the triangle sum theorem. There's 180 degrees in that triangle. So 180 minus 90 minus 39. And, well, 180 minus 9 would be 90. 90 minus 30 would be 60. Minus 9 more would be 51 degrees. So I know angle B is 51 degrees. So there's the first one right there. Well, that was easy. Okay, now to find the missing side. I can really choose whichever side I want. I could do this side first or this side first. It doesn't matter. So let's see here. Well, I can use this angle right here, or I can use 51 degrees. It's up to me. I'm going to go ahead and use this angle right here. So from this angle, that's the opposite. And I'm going to figure out this side first. Now, if this angle's big B, I'm going to call this side little b. This side is big C, this angle's big C, I'm going to call this little c. That's a general way we just use to name the sides. We don't have to use so many letters. So let's see here. Opposite, this would be the adjacent side, so I would use tangent. So the tangent of 39 degrees is equal to 8 over b. And now what do? Well, I just got to cross multiply. So that's going to be 8 times 1 is 8. b times the tangent of 39. Now I can go ahead and get this as a decimal if I want to. That's perfectly fine. Sorry about that. So b times tangent of 39 is equal to 8. I can get that if I want to. And if I did that on my calculator, so if I do the tangent of 39, make sure my calculator's in degrees, of course. Tangent of 39, I hit equals, gives me that. So to solve this, I would have to do b is equal to 8 divided by 0.80978403331. Or I can just write 8 divided by, because I'm lazy, tangent of 39. Because I know that's just some decimal. And I do that, so let's see here. 8 divided by the tangent of 39, close the parentheses, hit enter, and the missing side B is equal to 9.879177. And we're just going to round to the nearest tenth on this and say it's about 9.9. So this side is 9.9. Now we have to stop and ask ourselves, does this make sense? Well, this is a smaller angle. This is the smaller side. This is the medium angle. This is the medium side. Now to find C, what do? Well, guess what? We can just do Pythagorean Theorem. I can do a squared plus b squared and make it equal c squared. So I can do it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. I could do it with trigonometry. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it simple and use what I know. So now I'm not going to use the rounded answer. I'm not going to use 9.9. I'm going to use this big long one down here, because if I round early, my final answer is going to be thrown off. So I'm going to take this number, just going to keep that in my calculator. I'm going to square it. So raise to the second. That gives me 97.59. I'm going to add on 8 squared. And that's going to give me 161.598. So let's see here. Let's do this over here. 9.879177 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. So c squared is 161.5981. And then to find c, you got to take the square root of both sides. C is equal to the square root of that. I can either type all that in again, or if we remember our trick, we can actually raise this to the 0.5. That's the same thing as a square root. So it should be 12.712, and if we round to the nearest tenth, c is approximately 12.7. When once again, that makes sense because the largest side is across from the largest angle. So all my numbers make sense, and we're done. Now, just to show you that I can do it the other way, if I type in 161.5981, the square root of 161.5981 and hit enter, hey, that's the same answer we got over here. Might be a little bit off down here because I rounded a little bit, but same answer. Pretty cool. So I found all the missing sides. Side AB is 12.7. Side AC is 9.9. And angle B is 51 degrees. And that's how you find all the missing parts for a right triangle. This one right here, we're going to do the same thing, only this time they didn't give us any of the angles. That's okay though. We got two sides. Well, let's first just figure out the third side. That's the easiest part right there. I'm going to call this side little z. So side little z, well, just got to do Pythagorean Theorem. 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to little z squared, because that's the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always z. So I get 25 plus 144 is equal to z squared. 169 is equal to z squared. So, hang on. That looks like a 2. So I can type in the square root of 169, and I get 13. Square root of 169, which is 13. All right. Just again, if I wanted to, I'm going to show you, I could take 169 and raise it to the 0.5. That also give me 13. 169 raised to the 0.5. 13. All right, so now we got to find the missing angles. Well, we got to choose which one do we want to find first, angle X or angle Y. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to use the two sides that they gave me because these are perfect and there was no rounding done. So I'm going to do X first. So for angle X, this is the opposite side. This is the adjacent side. So let's check with SOHCAHTOA. If I've got the opposite and adjacent, I need tangent. So the tangent of angle X is equal to 12 over 5. So how do we go backwards from that? Well, we got to take the arctangent from both sides. You can write it arctangent this side and arctangent of this side. That's really supposed to be right down there. And those cancel out, get rid of each other. And I get X is equal to the arctangent of 12 over 5. And I just got to plug that in my calculator. I can figure this out if I want to. Get it as a decimal. So right now this is just saying tangent. I don't want tangent, so I have to hit inverse, or you might see shift or second on yours. So arctangent of 12 divided by 5. And make sure that's in parentheses. Don't have it in parentheses, your answer might be off. And so x is equal to 67.380, keeps going, or also known as just 67.4 degrees. We'll just round it. Now to find the third angle. Well, I can do trigonometry again, or I can just use the triangle sum theorem. 180 minus 90 minus 67.4 degrees. (180 minus 90 minus 67.4). Missing angle should be 22.6 degrees. So we end up getting that. Where's my other? I can't find my other color, so I'm just going to use pencil here. This angle, we found this angle was 67.4 degrees, and this one was 22.6 degrees. Now let's check. Does this make sense? This is the largest angle, largest side. Medium angle, medium side. Smallest angle, smallest side, and it all checks out. So let's come over here to the side, fill out our information. We found out angle X is equal to 67.4 degrees, and angle Y is 22.6 degrees, and side little z was equal to 13. So really, on both of these, we only had to do one single trigonometry problem. That's it. That's all we had to do. Could I have figured out angle y using trigonometry? Sure, I could. I could come over here and say, well, y, this would be the opposite side for y. This would be the adjacent side for y. I figured out tangent of y is equal to 5 over 12. Do the same thing. Arctangent, 5 over 12. Big Y. And if I type that in my calculator, the arctangent of 5 divided by 12, and I hit I close parentheses and I hit enter. Hey, 22.6 degrees, exact same thing. I could have done another trigonometry equation up here to figure out the hypotenuse if I want to. I didn't have to do Pythagorean theorem, but let's try to keep it simple, okay? Keep it simple, do as few steps as possible. All right, this video is plenty long. I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I might make another one if you want to try one on your own. That is how you find all the missing sides and angles of the triangles. Set up one trigonometry problem to find the missing side or angle. Then use triangle sum theorem to find the other missing angle, and use Pythagorean theorem to find their missing side.